Okay.
All right. So, hey, Warriors, thank you for being on the Warrior Leadership Training. I'm super excited about tonight's call. We have all you guys on the call. I hope you're super excited about being here. And then, of course, we got none other than Jeff Fallon on here. So I'm super stoked to have him here. And the cool thing I like about him is he's super passionate about creating transformation in others through professional or personal growth. And if you're not working on personal growth, you're not growing. So I'm totally excited about having them on here. And the reason we're having the call on Sunday instead of a Wednesday, usually people get Wednesday or Thursday or whatever. Jeff wanted Sunday because he's actually taking off on a trip tomorrow. So he wanted to get this call in. He wanted to load you down with wisdom and nuggets of information and stuff like that. And the cool thing is he talks a lot about mindset and overcoming the number one challenge that holds people back. And I hope you're going to tell me what that is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. So let's all, everybody's muted, but you can see them. So we do the welcome like deaf people do. So everybody do the wave to Jeff. There we go. Woo, woo, woo. Awesome. I like Pam. She's got no face, but there's a hand waving in the screen. That's awesome. So welcome, Jeff.
Hello. Yeah, thank you. I can see April, Colleen, Matthew, Cindy, and I'm not sure if I could expand further past all that.
Deborah's on the phone, so we got people on the phone as well. So we got people from all over. And here's the crazy thing. I don't think there's anybody in here from San Diego except you and me.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. Talking about a Sunday, I know there's stretch in regards to some travel that was planned, 6-8 weeks ago for some remarkable retreats that I am grateful to be a part of, helping train and teach CEOs from all over the world, really. We have, I think, almost 4, maybe even 5 countries being represented in an intimate setting. The log cabins, lake house type remote retreat locations for 3 days. And then we do a 5-1 called Mega Sales, which is pretty incredible about really gaining, like I would say, great knowledge, information, practice about presentation skills, because we all sell. I'm going to think that a lot of us on the line here are entrepreneurs or run our own business or have a pretty hefty title, even if in corporate America, where you've got to lead other people or inspire, whatever that may be. And there's nothing like having good presentation skills or quote unquote selling. We're always selling.
I think, yeah, if anybody's ever dated, you've sold.
Yeah, or been married, right? You had someone buy your whole delivery, whatever it was you're selling.
Somebody bought into your story or bought into you, and you sold them goods, A
lifelong commitment, yes, sir.
Well, if you got married, yeah, but if it was a date, you sold them enough that they wanted to hear more about you and have that dinner, that coffee, whatever it is. So, yeah, if you have ever attempted to go out on a date, you've done sales, and I think everybody has. So,
Agreed. Awesome. Yeah. Well, just a little win on that was just we're talking about leadership and stuff. I just came off of an incredible week. You might have seen it. I do usually some summary posts on Facebook, maybe a little Instagram here and there. But just got done teaching and training almost 70 different leasing agents, consultants, and a commercial real estate company out here. And they're all over the Western region, and that was incredible. I did 4 classes, 3 hours apiece, just teaching sales and communication, and just wrapped it up Thursday. So that was a great way to end the week. It's always bittersweet to have a class 4 or 4. It was basically for the first quarter. I'm going to go back and work with that company in quarter 3. They hired me for quarter 1 and 3 just to get momentum into spring and summer.
That's awesome. I mean, just working with them and helping them just be better at their sales, better leaders, just be able to just stand out in their job is awesome. So a lot of the people here in this group are entrepreneurs. They're either in network marketing, they own their own business, they're in sales, they're in marketing and things like that. And so they join this group because they want to be a better leader. They want to be a better leader in their personal life. They want to be a better leader in their community, and they want to be a better leader in their business. And leadership is not something that you just you're just made a leader. You grow into a leader, and you become a leader, and things like that. So you work with a lot of thought thinkers and leaders out there, and whatnot. I know you were you just did an event with Mark Zuckerberg's sister.
That's correct. Yeah, Randy Zuckerberg, not Burger.
All right, Zuckerberg.
Yeah, that family that started that thing called Facebook, where I got that invite for this call. Anyways, yes, been fortunate enough to work with some incredible people. And, you're holding up a book of Anthony Robbins there, which I'm excited someone's going to receive that because, when I started as an entrepreneur at 20 years old, and I'll show you mine. This is the one I read when I was 19 years old. It changed my life. His second book. Yeah, that's a later one.
Look at the photos in the two. Look at the difference. Like, look at them. There you go. It's like,
look at mine is sun faded, dog eared. This thing's like a business Bible that you can read once every year or two. It's amazing. Anyways, Anthony, I'm a big fan of. He holds down events of 10,000 people, give or take, once a month or every 6 or 8 weeks, and keeps people inspired for 4 days for 12 hours at a crack. And, as a speaker, I do, maybe a keynote for an hour or, a 3-hour training class or, boot camps, webinars, whatever it may be. So I have the utmost respect for somebody that can just, again, teach, train, engage, and educate, entertain, all that kind of stuff for 12 hours for 4 days. So,
and at the high level he does, it's high energy all day long. And I know he just finished Unleash the Power in London. Okay. He's constantly working and doing this. I mean, the guy's a multi-millionaire. And he's still working. He's still sharing, and that's what I think is amazing about some leaders is it's not about the money. It's about what can they do to help others.
Speaking of that, Kent, and that's where I really gain a lot more respect as Anthony's career evolved to where it is today, is his give back to the hunger. He shares his story. He's pretty open about it, whether you read his books, listen to the audios, or go see him live, about having not so much money one Thanksgiving. And they had to get a turkey donated to them. And his father was so proud, he shut the door on the people that were really trying to help serve. And so Tony has really turned that, childhood traumatic experience into something phenomenal, feeding millions and millions of people every year. So that's awesome.
Yeah, he is amazing. Now, like I was telling the listeners and the viewers and stuff like that, you talk a lot about mindset and overcoming the number one challenge that holds people back. So are you gonna share that? Come on, Jeff. I know you're gonna share it with us, and I know you got a whole talk on it.
I will, absolutely, and my pleasure. And thanks again for inviting me, Ken. I really appreciate your team, your audience, your tribe, and I'm ready and willing to give what I got. I've been a student of the game. I've been on webinars and taken notes. So yeah, if this is being recorded, you share it out via email, great. Otherwise, grab pen and paper. And I've got notes in my files that are, storage bins of notes for the last 25 years as an entrepreneur. And yeah, what I found is, as a professional coach, I started coaching real estate investors and entrepreneurs about 6-7 years ago and have completed over 4,000 calls nationwide and now globally. And the reason I speak on this topic is because out of all of those calls and conversations, there was a common thread. When I had an entrepreneur, whether it was a husband and wife team, buddies from college, whatever it may have been, or a solopreneur, there was always one thing that seemed to hold people back. And so you ready to hear what it is?
I'm ready.
It's called, it's an F word. It's a 4-letter F word, and it is fear. Fear. It's the common denominator that holds people back from accomplishing their goals, their dreams, their action items, whatever you want to call it. Income producing activities is what I really focus on. And it's like, well, okay, well, fear. What does it really stem to? And that's why I really appreciate you bringing up Anthony and, showing his recent book. And we kind of brought him up organically a little bit again. But he's actually somebody who taught me, again, when I'm 20, 21 years old, when I thought I was too young to buy real estate and start my own business. For your people that are network marketers, I've been in network marketing probably a total of almost 10 years, almost 2 of it full time in a health and wellness company. And so I know exactly what goes involved in that career as far as building a business, building an income. And same with real estate. I mean, you're an independent contractor in both of those fields. It's not really brick and mortar, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so with all that said, I had to learn how to overcome fear. And I learned a simple concept from Anthony, and it was pain/pleasure. And I'll break it down just because of the essence of time here, as we got 40, 45 minutes or so. Pain or pleasure? Puts it pretty simple. You're either going to choose one or the other. And the key is how to overcome fear is narrow associating your mind with the pleasure side of whatever action item it is. So for me, I'll use an example like in real estate. I was always a little nervous as a young guy starting out. I'm a short guy, only 5'8", 150, and it's like I was a little intimidated by the business world. And it was just like, all right, I had to overcome that fear or limited belief, as Tony refers it to, as I would focus on the pleasure side of door knocking, delivering flyers, asking these for sale by owners to sell me their house, whatever that looked like. And I had to really put my focus or shift that attention to me depositing the check in the bank. As far as when I bought it, rehabbed it, and sold it, that profit check is what drove me, because I was just so driven to be successful and wealthy. I was like, all right, anything I got to do to get to that part of the goal, I'm going to associate pleasure with it. And that helped me. I mean, I'm just trying to break it down and keep it simple, because there's a lot of people or trainers out there that can complicate things. I like to just keep it really simple. And so that's concept number 1 as far as how to overcome fear. And you have the choice. It's like the negative or the positive. Choose the positive, the pleasure side. I'm just thinking of 2 little voices on your head. I know I'm not the only one on the call where you've got one voice on this side talking to you, telling negative stuff and keeping the fear going or feeding the fear. And then you've got the other positive voice. And I'm just saying, hey, choose the positive. Link everything to the pleasure. Like those in network marketing. Picture yourself going across the stage and hitting that rank at the national convention. You getting recognized with the pin, the bonus check. That's how you associate having any kind of hesitation about making those calls and saying hello to a stranger, getting some rapport going in networking. Another thing I teach and train, how to network and turn strangers into clients for life. And that came out of some network marketing training years and years ago. But that's not easy for some people that might be a little shy and introvert, and again, it just takes practice. And that's concept number 2, how to overcome fear. So first is choose pleasure. Narrow associate the pleasure part of whatever it is you're doing to getting paid or whatever that looks like for you. If it's, feeding millions of people like we talked about in a charity aspect, okay, great. But whatever fires you up, make sure you associate your actions with that. Next one, number 2, is practice. You've got to put in the practice. And what do I mean by that? I played and grew up in a lot of sports and even martial arts. And I see a big fan. I'm from Chicago originally. And so I see Michael Jordan, the jersey up there on your wall. And it was like, I watched about 90% of Mike's games, heard about him on the sports and the news. The guy was relentless in practice. So much so that his teammates had to ask Mike, hey man, why don't you cool it? Why don't you back down a little bit so we don't burn out before the game? And Mike said, hey man, you know what? This is how I practice since I was, I got cut from the high school basketball team. So he's relentless ever since that. That drove him. And so through college, pros, he was just that adamant about heavy practice. And that made the games, quote unquote, easy. And here he's one of the all-time greatest ever to play the game. Some say he is, some say maybe. I don't know, but you get my point. So I had to practice a lot of stuff like in martial arts, whether it was punches or blocks or kicks or all this stuff. I mean, hours and hours of training. So we hear a lot about it takes 10,000 hours or repetitions to master anything. And so to anybody on the call or that may be listening to the replay, I challenge you. How much time and energy are you putting into practice? And I mean practice at a high level. When I talked earlier about one of these retreats we do with sales and presentations, you actually come to this retreat, you pay a pretty good penny for myself and a couple other world-class coaches to judge you, almost like a Shark Tank, if you will. We're on a panel, but then we set up a camera. We record you, just like if you're doing your own infomercial. So go ahead, you sell me whatever product or service you got, and we're going to record you, and then we're going to break down your recording so you could see, okay, you might not want to do this, you might want to do all these little idiosyncrasies, but that's great practice, and that's what I'm really bringing it up for, is to look at yourself, record yourself. How do you sound? How do you look? What mannerisms are you doing? And that's how you really raise or elevate your game, through some serious dedicated practice. And then that's why I'm a coach. I mean, having an accountability partner or, professional coach to keep you in like a growth mode as far as accountability. And so those are two concepts. I do have one more if you really want to hear the third one, or do you want to have a question, or is there any comment, or should I just keep going?
I think you should just keep on rolling, because like you're on that momentum. You got that energy going, and I do want to interject a little bit, because you said the practice and practice your speech and stuff, and like right now there's a network marketing group I'm working with, and I put on a 10-day challenge on doing Facebook Lives, and so many people are scared to do a Facebook Live, to say something there. And I tell them that, hey, if you're scared to do a Facebook Live, how are you going to be when you're approaching somebody and talking about your business or your product and stuff? And you're like, it's the same thing as a Facebook Live. You have to be ready to share and give information. You got to smile. And the cool thing about the Facebook Lives is you can go back and critique yourself, because it's posted on your wall. You get to watch it. Sometimes I do Facebook Lives every day, and the thing is I watch every single one of them. What could I have done better? How can my speech be better? Did I say too many ums? And I'm always working on it. Like I did one yesterday, and I'm telling you, it was probably my worst one yet, because I was not prepared. I didn't prepare as hard as I should have, because a lot of times I like to dig up information. I like to get myself ready. I get my speech in my head, and then I do it. Well, yesterday I was going to a birthday party. I was rushing. I knew the quote. I knew everything, and I just didn't have it pieced together. And I sat there and I watched the video. I'm like, whoa, I was more hard. And the thing is, you're more hard on yourself.
Yeah, which drives us as entrepreneurs and leaders, and this call's about leadership. Ken, I appreciate so much what you said. And again, you're not the only one that's hearing or seeing kickback from people doing a Facebook Live. This is a new technology, and you bring up Randy Zuckerberg earlier. She's the one who brought it to us. She invented it. And I'll share some more other stories about her, maybe if we have some questions and answers at the end, because I want to address something here. Is why are they not doing the Facebook Live? It came back to what we just talked about, fear. They're afraid of what people are going to think. They're afraid of screwing up like you're talking about. So how do you get over it? You practice. You go ahead and write down your script, your 2 or 3 bullet points, and you practice out loud. The great thing about cell phones right now is you can hold it out and record yourself before you go on Facebook Live, do a little practice, and then just be authentic. We're not going to be perfect. There you go. I get a little demonstration off of one of it. We're a good team here, Ken. All right, awesome. And, just have fun with it. I mean, like you said, I remember doing my first one when Facebook Live came out. It was like a month later. I'm like, okay, I don't even know how to start it. What do you do? Oh, I'm live. Okay, just roll with it,
Right.
But I did practice a little bit. I set up, I actually teach and train that, the do's and don'ts of Facebook Live, how to not shoot yourself in the foot. So it's all about branding. And but another one that comes back to fear as far as a core reason if people are having a little hesitancy. You bring up that maybe you want to jot this down, or you're recording it, but something that you can share with the group that you're training. One thing I learned that's critical in network marketing, and it also overflows into entrepreneurship, there are 3 keys that you must have an alignment. Otherwise, you will struggle with making a check, whether it's part-time or full-time. You want to know what those 3 keys are, Kent?
Yes, I do.
Well, okay. All right. He's
Lay
got
it
some.
on me, baby. Just lay it on me.
I see some smiles from Colleen and Cindy. So, okay, maybe this is the energy why we got on the call. Oh, man, we're like brothers from another mother here. Anyways, the 3 keys that I learned, and again, it's so true because I remember falling on my face in network marketing. I did, I think 3 companies over 10 years. And I learned that, hey, you've got to have belief in your product or your service. If it's a service or a product, you've got to have core belief. You got to have belief in the industry, network marketing or MLM. And then last but not least, yourself. If you waver or have any bit of shakeability in those 3, you will struggle. People will try and cover it up or overcompensate with 1 or 2 of the 3. But again, your industry. And here's why it comes up like this. Because when you go out to recruit, and let's face it, you make money recruiting, enrolling people into your program, signing up into package A or B or whatever it looks like. That's how you get paid and reach the high ranks. So you think people are going to be like, oh, that's network marketing, taboo, stay away from me. So you better be able to address and overcome the network marketing as an industry. Number 2, your service or product. I mean, you better be passionate on fire about it. I fell into it like backwards because I was using a product. So I was a product user first. And then, my sponsor just happened to say, well, would you like to enjoy the product for free? And that looked like Vegas lights to me. I was like, for free? What are you talking about? What do I got to do? It's like, well, you just got to tell some other people. I was like, all right, sign me up. And I was quote unquote sold. And then last but not least, yourself. And so we've been talking about that already, having confidence and how to overcome fear. So, it's a whole different topic on personal development. But that industry has a lot of great, resources and training, almost so much it can be overkill. So I always picked like 1 or 2 and really stuck to those programs on training within those companies. But yeah, that was pretty cool. All right, so last but not least, we're kind of bouncing around a little bit like a pinball machine there. I get it. So I'm going to come back to how to overcome fear, number 3 concept, and that is what you said earlier, mindset. So I'm a mindset coach, how to overcome fear, how to overcome obstacles, and a lot of other things that come with it, motivation, inspiration, that kind of stuff, and really staying focused and goal setting and time management. But when you talk about mindset, I'm talking about positive mental attitude daily. And so how does that happen? It does not happen by accident. I work on that. I call it Jeff time. Being on a Sunday, I would normally not be doing this stuff, but because of a unique training schedule, when we met, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'd love to contribute or help somebody out. And that's why I'm here. I live by a really simple philosophy. It's called live to give. A lot of my coaching goes towards 3 different charities. So I coach, I help people on the first level. And then as a ripple effect, it goes to a couple charities that are, deep meaning for me in my heart type of thing. Giving back. So live to give. And it's also coincides with I share because I care. That's it. So where does that come from? Daily rituals. And I happen to have one nearby. I was getting a little bit ready before our call and our webinar tonight where I wanted to show, and that's why I'm glad I'm on video. I have these sheets right here, where is what I call speak life into yourself every day. And with the power of Facebook or Instagram now, like my photos in my phone, I have more affirmations than photos. I save them. I read those things every morning, every day, the power of the mind. And here's another one. You maybe see that a little bit. It's called the Champion's Creed. And I have this printed out and handy because I handed it to the sales class last week. As we finished off, I did 3 classes on sales and techniques and, a lot of 101 personality types and yes, 3-foot rule and a lot of things to create conversations and build a common, bond for long term. But now we had to put it all and wrap it in a bow when we talk about how do we speak life into ourselves every day, have a shift in the confidence. Whether you're, again, in business or in fitness, maybe you want to, lose weight or gain muscle. I mean, we got to speak life into ourselves because outside in that world out there, there's a lot of negativity. And I put up what's called a healthy boundary. I don't allow negativity to penetrate into what I really work and focus on to keep the mind right. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes, it
All
does.
right, cool. So I'm going to read this just so your audience and you guys can get a feel of when you speak these kind of words. And again, for anyone that's on the line or the call with us, if you've got kids, I want you to think about how powerful this is. Like, as you know, a lot of times when I was a little kid, we'd go to bed, and before you go to bed, you pray. Well, this would go hand in hand with that kind of time to where with the kid or in breakfast, you know, morning and night, you speak life into your kids. So they develop this as they grow through their teenage years, you know, with peer pressure out there and all that other stuff. So Champions Creed. I am a champion. I believe in myself. I have the will to win. I set high goals for myself. I surround myself with winners. I'm positive. I'm confident. I'm relaxed and in control it at all times. I'm willing to pay the price for success. I focus all my energy on the job at hand. I'm willing to do what it takes to overcome obstacles. I will continue to train my brain and my body. I have the courage to endure and persist. I can picture and imagine fulfilling my dreams. I am a champion, and I will win. Boom.
Boom. Love it.
Mm-hmm. That's the short version. The other page I showed you is a little bit longer. It's got 2 paragraphs in it. But, you know, I've had this for, again, 15, 20 years. This long sheet came from Zig Ziglar himself. I was fortunate enough to see him speak twice, and this came in a booklet that he handed out. And, again, this is as old as the Anthony Robbins book. So just feeding your brain this kind of positive affirmation every single day.
No, I totally get that. We actually have a Warriors Creed.
Awesome.
That, you know, I got from my days working with T. Harv Eker.
Okay.
Love so, you know, so our creed is, I am a warrior. I act in spite of fear. I am a warrior. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I am a warrior. I do everything at 100%. I am a warrior. I'm willing to do what's hard. I am a warrior. I act in spite of my mood. I am a warrior. I am bigger than any obstacle. I am a warrior. I succeed in spite of anything. I am a warrior. I never give up.
Love it. Awesome. Yeah. Again, I just call that type of stuff speaking life into yourself, putting that healthy boundary up, because, you know, like I stopped watching the 10 or 11 o'clock news at night, I think almost 10, 12 years ago. I relocated to San Diego from Chicago, coming up on 8 years, because I had to get out of that winter freezing cold and shovel the 1,000 driveways every year, whatever it is. So I was motivated to move to the warm weather, right? But that was a big goal of mine. That's why in my 20s and 30s, I really, you know, I worked a full-time corporate job for a while I did my real estate nights and weekends, and my network marketing nights and weekends, so I can fulfill and retire early, you know, by the time I was 40, and plan B was 50. So lucky enough, I moved out here at 39 years old, and, you know, quote unquote, living the dream and giving back now. So yeah, it's super cool. But I got to give honor and contribute to your friends, your audience here, of the keys of how that's happened. I've given you those golden nuggets, or what I like to call ninja tips, already in today's time, in 30 minutes or so. So anything else you want me to cover, Kent?
You know, actually, how would and you're good at leadership, you're good at sales training. What about focus and attention? You know, a lot of leaders have, I wouldn't say ADHD, but there's always stuff going on. There's so many things going on. You know, how would one improve their attention and focus?
Okay. Yeah, great one. And by the way, gang, just so I think I see about maybe 15 or 18 people, Kent did not fair warn me he was going to bring this one up. So this is on the fly. So, all right, that's a hot topic, no problem. And the first thing, I got a little notepad to remind me, like when you trigger something, when you're speaking, I'm like, oh my God, I got to share this. This is gold. So first thing that comes to mind, one of the hot topics that I get asked to speak on when I'm at these retreats with, again, CEOs, and they could be in their 20s, 40s, 60s, whatever it is. And if you're one of my private coaching clients, it's a one-on-one, this is usually around call 2 that this comes up, because a lot of people do have the syndrome of what we, refer to in a funny way, squirrel, 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 shiny pill or shiny penny syndrome. And I think of the old days when I grew up in an arcade, the pinball machine, where you're just bouncing around off the bumpers, right? And so it comes down to this. What I've found that is, successful for whatever personality type we have, or ADHD and that kind of stuff, it comes down to really getting serious with setting specific goals, and then time management. So I really go into those in depth in calls like 1 and 2 and a discovery call. We're going to set your short-term goals so we can be very laser focused. So 30-day goals, and then break it down into the week and then the daily. And then I'm going to really associate your why with it. So you got to be on fire with passion, because I'm not into adult babysitting. I'm into go ahead and inspiring, putting you on a very specific plan, a track, if you will. And with that, it also comes along with time management. So a lot of people I work with, and people in network marketing, like when I started, were part-time. And I'm going to do reverse engineering off of how much time you have in a weekly basis. 1 week, and this is a golden nugget here for your team. People pay a lot of money for this, whether it's private coaching or, retreats. And thankfully, I learned this concept about 8-9 years ago from a colleague. Kent, we've got all the same time from Sunday to Saturday. That's 7 days a week times 24 hours a day. So how do some people get, 25 things done and some only get 10, or whatever that number or spread is? And it's really getting serious into your time management. And so a lot of times entrepreneurs have 12 hours a week and they want to be a millionaire, right? Never made more than $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year. And I've got 12 hours, coach. I want to be a millionaire. What do you got? That's the challenge I get, right?
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow, wait a second. Well, let's have a goal of making $100,000 a year first, or maybe it's even 50 as a home-based business owner. And then we're going to go to 200, 300, etc. But the bottom line is this: I'm going to look at your habits and your daily rituals. And what do you break down? I want you guys to think real quick on lawyers, doctors, dentists, those type of professionals. They make between, $500 an hour, if not $1,000 or more an hour. And if you're talking about a lawyer, let's say they earn, $600,000, $800,000 a year. They're billing you every 6 minutes. That's why when you get on the phone with them, they're just all business. What's up? Where am I going? Fact, fact, fact. I want you guys to think and run your calendar, and I'm going to double it. Actually, a little more than that. 15-minute increments you have to do a task. So I tell people to write down, how a lot have their top 10 list or 10 things to do for the day. Mm-hmm. First of all, it's got to be income producing activities. So out of those 10, the first 3 are going to bring in income. So a lot of times that's making calls to what I call your chicken list. People that you're afraid to call, that do have money or are interested in your product. So we're going to set that up early on. Again, a little practice with a coach or a trainer or accountability partner first so you don't screw it up. But the whole point is you're getting a high-level activity sooner than later, and we're not waiting until 4 o'clock, and now it's too late, and now it rolls into the next day. No, no, no. So anyways, 15-minute increments. Think about that. So I say you're going to get your list done or 80% complete by 12 noon. And let's say you work from 9 a.m. to noon. Well, think about it. 4 tasks from 9 to 10 a.m. Take a little break. Go get some water, have a banana, whatever, go to the bathroom, come back. Now it's 10:15. You've got 3 tasks, 10:15 to 10:30, 10:30, 10:45 to 11. There's 4 and 3. You got 7 things done in less than 2 hours. Now I've got 1 more hour of 15-minute segments with you. Do you see that? Mm-hmm. A lot of people in, again, corporate America, they're in meetings or they have people bombarding them with calls, emails, interruptions because they don't have that healthy boundary. Guys, I'm telling you right now, guys, gals, ladies, gentlemen, everybody, you've got to put up healthy boundaries. And that means turn this off. Shut it down. I tell you what, I go out with friends, family, whoever it may be, business colleagues, and they are on that phone like it's glued to the palm of their hand. It's addictive. I get it. But we've got to isolate time for it. I do have time for Facebook. It's part of my business. I have 5,000 friends. I communicate. I post once or twice a month. I have the business page. Okay, great. It generates some revenues and all that kind of stuff. And I love to share good news. And I've got a lot of clients that share good news on that platform. So yeah, I schedule that. So what I would invite your audience to do to really build the muscle and condition to get to that 15-minute window is start out at 30 minutes first. Give yourself some grace. It's like joining a gym and starting out with the 10-pound dumbbells first. You're building that muscle, and after a week or two, now you're able to go to 15 pounds or 20 pounds. So start with 30 minutes and get a task done. So that's 2 an hour. So if it's 9 to noon, you got 6 things done by noon. There's really no excuses because I know a lot of things will take a lot less than 30 minutes. So now you've got what I call found time, where maybe you go into a training segment or listen to a podcast or a TED Talk or something like that. Again, feed your brain. Get into the leadership, archives of other calls that maybe they didn't get to enjoy. But you get where I'm going with it. And I'm trying to talk fast because I know we're limited on time. So if you got to watch the replay, please do.
We get as much time as you want, dude.
Oh, well, I got to eat dinner. There's no doubt. I mean, I don't know. Some people might be on East Coast time or Midwest time a couple hours ahead. We're coming up on 6 o'clock out here in California.
You don't look like you're starving.
No. God, I went to a great lunch and enjoyed the first half of the day, and we had a great weekend out here. But again, the whole point really comes down to time management. And I learned this from a single mom, gang. I was raised by a single mom most of my life from like 8th grade and high school on. And I really appreciate this because she was a nurse that would work these 12 and even 16-hour double shifts. And as the oldest son, I was the one home a lot after school and bridging the gap and making dinner. And, I always said that's another driver for me. I was like, man, I want to make sure that I'm home or my wife is home for the kids. And so indirectly, she inspired me to, this work ethic that was tireless. I'm like, gosh, if she could work 10, 12, 16-hour days, I will too. But then I learned to work smarter instead of harder. And that's what this is all about, really managing your time. So you go from that 30-minute block. Once you have success with that, I would say for 2 weeks, then we go to 20 minutes. And now there's 3 20-minute blocks in 1 hour. So now we can get 3 things done. And again, go take a break after one of those 3 in a row. But here's the key. You've got to close your office door. If you're at a home-based business, you close the door and you put a sign on the door that says, webinar recording in progress, like in red letters, do not enter. So the 7-year-old doesn't come running in there. Mom, I'm hungry. Dad, my video game's broke. This and that. You got to create healthy boundaries for them and condition the kids. Like go say hi to them before you go into a 20-minute time block. Say, hey, listen, unless you fall down and crack open your head and we got to run to the emergency room, Dad or Mom will be right back in 20 minutes to check on you. All right? And so we'll, take a break, fresh air, bathroom, like I said. But as soon as you're done with that, you're going back into it for a 20-minute. Maybe you got to put together a proposal on an email. And here's the other cool thing, guys. I'll leave you with this. Is remember the old timers that are like our mom, grandma, when they bake brownies or bread, they would dial it up by the stove and it's actually like ticking. Think of having a timer right by your computer or wherever you're working. So when you go into a 20-minute block, you set that timer, close the door, no interruptions. Again, you've got your healthy boundary so you can be in laser focus mode. And this is to answer your question, Ken. How do you stay focused? You put up these healthy barriers. You put yourself on a 15, 20, or 30-minute time block and do from start to finish, you complete that task. Period. Done. That's how you do it to answer your question.
I'm loving it. I know there's several people on this call that are like wanting this information. Boom. It's mind-blowing. Yeah, exactly. Jackie and Kim, like this is like, okay, I get it now. This is great concepts. And I appreciate you sharing that nugget of information with us. And yeah, I threw you on the bus, but you did great. You're a coach. That's what you're trained to do. That's to help people. Let's see. I know Tim was wondering what kind of real estate investment properties you have.
Okay, yeah, great. Tim, great question. I see you there. Hello, nice to meet you online, if you will, or virtually. And I started out buying houses in the south suburbs of Chicago when I was 23 years old. And yeah, if anyone else has a question, type it in and Kent will share it on. I'll stick around, answer questions, no problem. And yeah, I bought, actually the first investment was a double wide mobile home trailer. I lived in it about a year, fixed it up. I'm 23 years old. And then I found a two unit about 2 miles away. And so I lease optioned out the double wide mobile home and rented that thing for about 5-6 years straight. And then I lived in the bottom level of a ranch home with a 2-story up above, and rented up the upstairs 2-bedroom apartment. And then I just kept buying more and more properties. I bought in actually a not so great area, south side of Chicago. I wanted to help the blighted areas and put single moms in homes. So I did a bunch of Section 8 homes on the south side of Chicago. And that's when I started a construction company. I got to become a general contractor. I was kind of keeping the rehab work in-house. And again, guys, I'm doing this nights and weekends. I would go punch the clock in my commercial marketing, graphic, and advertising background. And I love real estate. I couldn't wait to get out of work. You know, this is my retirement nest egg. And then I was going to monthly meetings every month, you know, again. And so I held them. I was a buy, fix, and hold landlord for 12 years straight. And then I went through a divorce. I had to sell a bunch of the properties. I sold them all for sale by owner because I knew I was moving to Florida, Arizona, or California, and I didn't want to be an out-of-state landlord. So I came out to California, and ever since I've been out here, I've been a financial and real estate educational coach and trainer. And I stay active, Tim, as a private money lender now. I like to just be the bank. I kind of joke sometimes that I'm all done with the tenants, the toilets, and the termites. So no more of that. I did all the managing for 12 years. And, you know, I like people, I do, but, you know, learn the lesson, don't rent to family and friends and all those, like, you know, horror stories of contractors. And I think that's what helps me become or be a really good coach, because I've helped thousands of real estate investors across the country and even in Canada that knew nothing from square one, or even sometimes I would inherit students. I remember one in Florida, they had 44 properties when we first started working together, and you either work with me for 6 months or 12 months. And they had a 12-month package where we were talking once or twice a month plus email support. And they were just in a buying frenzy. After the 2008, 2009, there was a bunch of properties down in Florida that were just very, like, you'd buy properties, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you know, 1,600 square feet for like $29,000, $39,000, $49,000. Like, gosh, you could even buy a 1-bedroom, 600 square foot, like in California or anywhere. But anyways, they just accumulated properties. When I started coaching them, they didn't know which ones were making money. They didn't know which ones were losing money. They were just all over the place. So we really got into their portfolio and, you know, helped stop the bleeding, if you will, on the ones that were losing money, and really sold a couple that were not so great. And, you know, that was just a good experience for everyone. But yeah, I love real estate. Like I said, I just got done teaching and training a bunch of leasing consultants, more in a corporate setting. You know, real estate also is something that's going to be around for the long haul. You know, it's been proven it's one of the top generators as far as wealth and legacy and family, that where you can pass it on, will it on, and, you know, really set yourself for success, both for you, your kids, and your grandkids. So that's why I'm passionate about it. Any other questions, or hopefully I answered that one? Private money lending. That's what I'm.
You just went through the roof on that one. You just got all excited about that.
Yeah. But, well, you know, actually, I'm selling one right now for 1.3. We just finished it. I did a Facebook, you know, video. If you guys want to check me out again, you know, I just do these 2-3-minute videos, or I call them five minute with Fallon, because people's attention spans are short. So you want to do your videos 1 minute or 2 minute, maybe 5 if you're really doing something. But anything longer than that, gang, that's one of my tips about Facebook Live. If you go more than 5 minutes, you should be getting paid. That should be part of your training or your coaching. So if it's more than 5 minutes, put it into your online academy or whatever that looks like. All right?
Boom.
All right, any other questions?
Looking. Okay, so here's one. I'm curious what to do when at the end of the day you're tired, but there's still a ton to do on my do list. How do you re-energize?
All right, another good question. And yes, we're all human. So you are saying, hey, Jeff, I'm a high energy guy. I got this nickname from a fellow peer and all the feedback from the coaching calls I've done or some speaking events. or I got this nickname, Mr. Positive. Well, where did that come from? I was like, well, all this personal development stuff that we were talking about earlier. And gang, I just drink the liquid of life. I mean, this is just, good, clean water. I'm not part of a company. I'm not on Red Bull. I don't drink coffee. I'll drink orange juice and just eat a balanced diet. So this is all natural energy at the end of a weekend, right? And I just get passionate about helping people. Like I said, live to give. So at the end of that day, we're tired. Been there, worked 10 hours, got a long commute, sat in traffic. 12 hours. I'm on salary. I just gave that company 3-4 hours for free in my head. Wasn't even getting overtime. That kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth. So how do you stay, motivated or get over it? Well, gang, I'm a workout person. So you got to implement some health and fitness and get your blood flowing. If it's doing some jumping jacks, I stretch every morning, every night, maybe some push-ups. I had a pull-up bar in my house for the longest time. Get some a heavy bag. Go get some blood flow. Hit that thing. That was how I get rid of stress. By the way, go hit a heavy bag. Instead of like lash out with somebody or whatever, or the push-ups. So that helps a lot as far as energy. But you're talking, maybe 8 o'clock at night where you're not wanting to really get into a workout mode. I get it. So it comes back down to a core reason in your heart, in your soul. Why are you doing what you're doing? If you're not fired up to be contributing another hour from, let's say, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. before you go to bed, or do your daily rituals, the power of prayer, whatever that looks like for you, well, then maybe you need to do an examination or a discovery call with a coach and really dive deep into your passions. And, I coached somebody actually over in Switzerland. And she was with a network marketing company for 2 years. And I worked with her for almost a year. And our last 2 calls, I mean, she was a top ranker. She was awesome, man. But it was like this gift card program where you buy in and get discounts on all these stores. She wasn't passionate about it. She was in it for the money. Her husband made good money. It was just something for her to do. The last 2 calls I had with her, she told me, and she confided in me that she's like, you know what? I think I need to move on to a different company. It just doesn't fire me up. And so we went into like chaos management mode, how she's going to exit the current company and find another one that she was really on fire for, that lit her up to where even if you are tired, you're going to go ahead and step up for that hour or 2 from 8 to 10 or whatever that looks like after work. And it comes down to your why, gang. That's what I'm talking about. When I mentioned goals earlier, I go over SMART goals. It's real easy: specific, measurable, attainable. The R stands for relevant, and the T is for time frame. But the R is the key. If you ask me, it's SMART, like written vertically. The R, relevant, that's where I talk about the why. I was taught and trained in network marketing 20 years ago that my why had to be so strong that it made me cry. The why should make you cry. And I was like, whoa, because I played it safe when I wrote my goals when I was young. I wanted to be able to attain them and get the pat on the back and like, oh, you're doing great. No, they said, Jeff, your goals are safe. You're safe. You're playing it too safe. And that's where I learned about digging deeper into your soul as far as your core why. And a lot of people I say, they struggle with that. Well, I don't know what my why is. Well, I say if you got, a husband, wife, kids, whatever that looks like, you should have a family photo or right around your screen, your work, your monitor. That right there, family first. I'm a big family first guy. And so I've got pictures of, my mom, my brothers, sisters on my refrigerator, because you go to your fridge, it's proven 18 times a day, the average human. So I get, fired up seeing my friends and family, right? And they're over 2,000 miles away, but I think about them all the time. That's what inspires me. And then just leave, my name. I want to leave a legacy. And so with my last name and honoring my father, I lost my father to cancer. So that's one of the charities that I give back to. Special Olympics, Wounded Warriors, things that are very inspiring, people that overcame odds. Some people that were born a certain way, we've got our fingers, our toes, I've got my brain. I wake up in gratitude every day. Some people have a lot more of a curveball, if you will, to overcome. And you think about them pushing on. Or then I think about like high-level athletes like Michael Phelps. He got into that freezing cold pool at 6 a.m. for years and years and years. We're hitting a snooze button a lot of times at 6 a.m. He's freaking running laps in a freezing cold pool. And what happened? One of the most, glorified Olympians ever in our time. So that's why I go into those affirmations to stay on fire. And your why has got to make you cry. And again, that could sound a little graphic or a little deep, and that's exactly right. That's exactly right. You got to have that fire lit up with your why. And so don't play it safe in that territory, and write that out. And that should be in your, people talk about vision boards. Your vision board is all about your why, so you can see it. And that's why, think about if you're in network marketing or even telemarketing sales, you get told, 95% of the day? No, hung up on. You better have something that inspires and fires you up to just pick it up again. No means not yet, right?
Exactly. That's what I learned it as.
Okay. Yeah, it reminds me of like the 4 or 5-year-old child that wants candy. They'll be like tugging at mom forever. Relentless. Mom, why? And you finally, as an adult, you just kind of cave in. Well, same thing with adults in sales. Whatever you're selling, man, be relentless without being annoying, of course.
One of my mentors, Eric Lawholm, always taught me that follow up till they buy or they die. And basically, they're either buying or either they die or they tell you to F off and never call them back again. That's like it. Like, other than that, you should always follow up. And it's true, because I've had calls where I literally followed up on somebody 20 phone calls. And then on the 21st, they picked up. They're like, hey, sorry I haven't gotten your phone calls. I've seen you've called. This has been going on in my life, or this has happened, and I apologize. I'm glad you called me. Let's do business. Let's do lunch. I want to know what's going on. How can I help you? Things like that. So, it's so true that you got to follow up, the buy or die. So I didn't mean to make you almost spit out some water there, but it's great advice.
You're right, Kent. I'll tell you what, that's another segment I teach on, because in real estate or whatever business you're in, if it's network marketing, you're selling, you're promoting, you're edifying. And the bottom line is the fortune's in the follow-up. We learn that. And I've got the stats by the National Business Council I share in some of my presentations, because a lot of these CEOs that I work with are maybe 1, 2, 3 years into their journey. So that's early, that's young. And, the marketplace is going to challenge you. And that's why you got to have your why so strong and your commitment, because I personally feel that the universe or the market or the business world is going to challenge your commitment and say, are you going to overcome this? Are you going to dig deep and stay strong in your company, in your goals, and overcome whatever that little challenge was of, getting hung up on or told no? But I mean, it's proven that the fortune is in the follow-up. I have stats that I keep nearby that 80% of your sales are made between the 5th and 12th contact. So you even went to 20 or 21, you said. A lot of people, when I was young in business, I grew up playing baseball and softball and all this stuff. So it was easy for me to associate a 3-strike rule. If I called you and I met you, let's say at a real estate, AREA, it's called, Real Estate Investing Association Networking Monthly Meeting. And you said, let's go have lunch. Let's partner up. Let's do some deals, work together. And I called you, let's say that following Tuesday or Thursday, no answer. I left you a voicemail. Hey, it's Jeff Fallon. Give me a call back. You said we wanted to meet for lunch, talk business. I called second time, nothing. Third time, nothing. And at that point, it kind of came a little disrespectful. Like, you can't even tell me you're on vacation. You can't even tell me you were sick. It's almost like, come on, man. You told me face to face you wanted to meet up. I threw your business card in the garbage. If you didn't call me back or email me back as a common courtesy after 3 times, bye-bye. But here's the thing I learned, Kent, that 80% of sales are done between the 5th and 12th contact. Ignorant young business person right here with the 3-strike rule. I shouldn't have thrown the cards in the garbage can. I should have called them. Look, I was only 2 away from the 5 or the 6. Maybe that would have resulted in $1 million deal. Who knows, But that was a good learning lesson when I was a younger business person. That's why, yes, I teach and train on the fortunes and the follow-up, no doubt.
Awesome. Everybody's loving these great nuggets of information, and they're appreciating all the stuff that you're sharing with them. And with today's because today we have so many platforms, social media out there. You know, you probably generate business through online, through social media and stuff like that, but you probably do it the old-fashioned way. Like, how much business is done, or how much do you generate through online social media as opposed to the old-fashioned prospecting, following up, and doing things like that?
Great question, Ken. I'm glad you brought that up, or I don't know if someone maybe triggered that thought with some of the questions.
Tim?
Awesome question. And I'm right at 50-50 because I do walk the walk, talk the talk. I teach and train a lot of networking stuff where, how to say hello, how to smile to someone, really the basics. A lot of what you don't see out there because people's heads are down. When people are texting and their heads down and I'm like in public, I purposely walk into them. Like I bump into them, so they have to look up, and then I smile and I'm like, hey, oh, sorry, I was kind of looking that way, and then it's like a way to almost trigger a conversation, and I'll start forming them, is what I call it, where it's like, where are you from, occupation, that kind of,
Yep.
recreation and motivation or money.
Yeah.
And the whole goal is to exchange business cards, so I can follow up. And what you remind me of is, again, something I've learned and applied so much so is where it's high tech and high touch. So I've got high tech with all the power of social media or the electronics, texting, whatever that may look like, email. And then high touch is face-to-face, person to person. I mean, I'm in my mid-40s now, so I grew up before the internet and started my business career, early on, where, it was belly to belly. And I was trained by someone who did really well in insurance. And they weren't getting paid unless they signed paperwork. And you had to, go to lunch together or dinner together in order for that to happen. So he always had what he called belly-to-belly appointments. And unless he had those type of appointments, you weren't getting paid. So that's the high touch part. And again, I just enjoy people. Well, guys, girls, all different backgrounds. I'm eager to listen and, again, help you get to the next stage in business or personal. So it's all good with me, high tech or high touch. Hopefully that answers your question. So yeah, it's usually 50-50 both. And then somewhere in there is also referrals. Any other questions? I know we're coming up on the 1 hour mark. I'm so respectful of people's time, and I just want to say thank you for the time and attention. And hopefully I helped one or two people learn a new concept.
No, I love that. And it's funny that all your tips are three things, like not 4, not 5, 3. Yeah, that's it. You only get 3 things from me. Like
3 strikes and you're out, I guess. I don't know.
So here, to leave us or end the call, because I know you want to go get your dinner and you want to respect people's time, and trust me, they're enjoying these nuggets of information that you're sharing with them. But if you could leave us with a nugget of information, what would you tell somebody that you were talking to or coaching about how to become a better leader?
A better leader. Man, that's a big one. We could do a whole nother hour webinar here, Kevin,
okay.
With that one. Wow.
Are you guys good with that?
Yeah, no, I'll give you. All right, cool. Yeah,
Here. Just give us the cliff note, like short version, and then what we'll do is we'll have you come back at another date a couple months down the road when more people are here and we can really dive into that. You and I'll get together for lunch and we'll really come down with an hour of good leadership quality talk.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Well, the bottom line's on, man, I just think of so many things come to mind where I got to, again, avoid the squirrel syndrome myself, or the pinball where it's like, oh, leadership. Wow. Okay. I just think about being, where you think about the laws of integrity and ethics and professionalism and showing up, being real, being authentic. I see a lot of people when we're talking about high tech and online, where some people online are a certain image or brand. And then I've met a lot of speakers and gurus and trainers out there because I've been in the industry. I'm in the industry. And that's where I want to be, like the friendly guru, the one that you can come and talk to after I'm done speaking on whatever stage it may be. I'll stick around. I'll answer questions. I'll take a picture or sign what. That's because I've watched so many that do the opposite. And I've gone up to them and wanted to shake their hand and say, hey, thanks. That was a powerful talk, or that was a great training. And they're like MIA. They're exiting the back of the stage to get in their limo to go on their airplane because they're just there to kind of do the speech. So I really think that leadership comes down to just being present, being there, showing up and honoring your commitments, honoring the time, honoring the schedule that you've, put together with you and the other person, whether it was professional and business or personal. And, one of the pet peeves that I have that I really have a low patience for is people that are flaky, people that flake out or don't show up or don't have the courtesy or etiquette to even send you a message that, hey, I'm running 5 minutes late or 10 minutes late, or I'm just unavailable. And the blow off factor. I mean, I just don't get that. And that's where, in network marketing, you deal with that a lot. And, it's human nature, I guess, is what you had to accept it, where people say they're going to do one or two things and they don't. And so I pay attention to what people say and do, because they're going to show you what type of person they are over, a month or two. I mean, usually within 60 days, if you've got some interactions, there's going to be some evidence of the type of character and person they are. So I really do pay attention to that stuff. And I think those are core qualities that a leader definitely needs to have. And that's just my humble opinion, or how I see it.
Well, there you have it, folks. All right. Well, Jeff, I appreciate you spending your Sunday with us. I know you got to pack up because you're leaving tomorrow to go on a trip. And so we appreciate you coming on here, just sharing those nuggets of wisdom. I call them nuggets of gold, because anything you can learn or put into use becomes a nugget of gold. And you just put it in your pot. You just keep building those nuggets up. And next thing you know, you got a pot of gold. So thank you for your nugget of gold. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You know what I call it? I call it a tool belt. It kind of reminds me of like Batman. He always had these cool gadgets he'd pull off at the perfect time. And you guys are all wearing your tool belt. The ladies, I see, like Wonder Woman, she had the lasso thing she could pull out. All right, you're always adding tools to the tool belt. So you just, overcoming an objection or whatever it may be in your business, you can pull out that golden nugget or ninja tip out of your tool belt. So I hear you. And last but not least, Ken, I'll leave you with this. I'm super excited. So yeah, when I come back in a month or so, we'll put a schedule together and share the link and the timing. Is I'm revamping a little branding and website myself called the Business Dojos and Fitness Dojos, where a lot of business and my martial arts has been combined into one, and it was tricky to get the branding together. So how to master, leadership, sales, marketing, branding, and a lot of other things that I teach. And so there'll be an online academy. It's like mastering your art and getting rank within that business dojo. And then same thing with your fitness, as far as your health, your body, your mind, and your spirit. So more to come on that. But if anyone wants to find me on Facebook, great. Jeff Fallon link. You could share it on the feed. And then also, you've got my email. I could send you if something like that needs to happen, Kent. But yeah, anything further as far as if anyone's interested in coaching or something like that, just let me know. And I know you had mentioned something about a free giveaway too. Is that something you wanted me to share? Because I was going to offer up 3 discovery calls for somebody. So go ahead.
Oh, see, like you're jumping the gun. Like,
oh shoot, I'm rushing. I'm a coach. I talk too much, huh? Sorry.
2 ears, one mouth, buddy. 2 ears, one mouth.
You're right.
All right. So, all right. All right. Well, anyways, so I was going to say, when I know you're going to be gone for a month, so when you get back, please reach out to me. I want to do lunch with you. We're gonna put the leadership call together. All right.
Right.
That's my commitment to you, and then that allows us to go have lunch. Second of all, we have what we call the Success Vault. All right. And the Success Vault is basically it's an area that other speakers that have come onto this platform have donated tools, whether it's books, training, coaching, some of their websites or programs or whatever it is. So I like to ask the speakers if they're willing to donate into the Success Vault, because somebody is going to win all these tools to help them have success in their life.
Wow. Awesome. Yes, I will donate a couple coaching calls and we can figure out the number into that. Are you talking a single winner wins all of that, or you're going to have multiple winners that are going to pick and choose?
You know, I might have 3 winners, because one person will win like 80% of it, and then the other 2 will get 10% of it. So
wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Woo. Okay, that's a lot of value. That's a lot of time too. Forever that grand prize winner is, man, I'd make sure they soak up that stuff within 90 days or 6 months for sure. Oh, yeah. And then, of course, put it into action. So that winner is going to have a little bit of, have to step up type of thing too.
Well, maybe the first call should be with you. So that they can go through all the tools that they get. Because here, Jeff, like, I'm just going to show you, because I have some of the books, just the books that have been donated. I mean, Scott Duffy gave a whole day of coaching and training. Let's see, Angel Rivera, he gave a whole day of training. Look at it. Hold on.
Wow. Whole days. That's like thousands of dollars of value. Awesome. That's fantastic.
Dude, we got Sharon Lecter, we got Anson Williams, we got Eric Swanson. I mean, the list just goes on and on. Like Richard Burkini, Mike Moore, Greg Reed. I mean,
love it. Looks like my home library right there.
That's Grady gave us the ripple effect. I mean, so yeah, there's a lot of material for these guys to go through. So you're going to donate some coaching?
I will. I'll donate some coaching time. I don't know about a full day. I mean, that is.
No.
That's a hefty price tag. 8 hours of coaching. Wow, that's thousands of dollars, man. Woo!
Scott Duffy, man. I mean, that was his commitment to me. So I was like, that literally is priceless, because I know his 1 hour talk on stage is $5,000. Yeah. So to get him for a full day of coaching, yeah, you can't even put a price on that. So awesome. No, we appreciate that. Thank you so much for donating your coaching to the winner. I will definitely keep you accountable on that, and I'll let you know who wins it. We'll talk more, but thank you so much for just sharing your wisdom, nuggets of information. I know everybody on this call. Let me see if I can get everybody on there. All right. Have you loved what Jeff shared today? Give him the thumbs up. Whether 1, 2, whoop, whoop.
Yeah, hit the like button, huh?
There's no like buttons here. Otherwise, there'd be hearts floating all over the place and everything. So Paul's like, yep, there you go. So
thank you, guys. I see Jackie and April as far as my screen. I see about 4 or 5 people. So
just go to the top right. You can hit speaker view, or you can see everybody else. So.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Paul, Cindy, Colleen, Kim. All right, man. I wish we had more time. Like, where's everybody from? Jennifer, Cora. I even invited my brother last minute. My brother reached out from Chicago. I said, "Hey, Matt, get on this call."
He's on.
Like, yeah, I saw him. Like, so hello to my bro. He's another one in real estate. He works with Redfin Corporate. He's been a contractor and did a lot of real estate together. So I'm trying to get him to come out to California, because Chicago's been, again, having rough weather, canceling Cub games because of snow in April. It's like, come on, bro, get out here and come play some golf with your big brother.
Well, as you're saying, everybody's saying where they're from. We got Louisiana, Kansas City, Washington, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, another Louisiana. I mean, we got them from all over.
Awesome. Well, hey, we got to put together a 1 or 2 day retreat again for all people that come visit us in Southern California. Maybe we'll rent one of these $1 million homes near the beach where everybody can really, have a great day of training and then a great meal and then again, some leisure time on the boardwalk, rent some fun bikes, scooters up and down. I mean, yeah, come enjoy a sunset. I mean, it's like, woo, it's here. We live in a free country. Come visit us.
Listen to this guy. He's like already like they know I'm putting together a warrior leadership live event, hands-on event and stuff like that. So maybe before we do that live event, we just do a mastermind. We just have a one-day event. People come down to San Diego, hang out with you and me and Martine. We can do some masterminding to help people with their businesses or any of the projects they're working on. We can all do a fun like a fun activity, like maybe do a scavenger hunt through San Diego. I know somebody that does the scavenger hunts, and we can all do a scavenger hunt through downtown San Diego and have fun doing that, and then go all out for a dinner and just enjoy each other's company.
Okay, awesome. Or I like some activities, whether it's beach volleyball, flag football on the beach, something a little more. Let's get some blood pumping and athletics for those people asking me questions about how to get that energy up. And so, yeah, I'd love to do it. I mean, I teach and train or speak on almost 20 different business topics, and then also some different mindsets. So, yeah, one day mastermind before or after that event, easy. I mean, we can fill that. I mean, gosh, I'd love to, share an hour or two, whether it's before or after lunch or both, and, MC, whatever that looks like. So, yeah, we'll have to talk about that, Kent, put that together.
I think we will. I think, and see, I'm already getting ideas right now. We might just do a mastermind for the first day, and then the next 2 days will be the warrior leadership training. It's the hands-on where we're going to be doing some activities and, getting really core warrior, getting your voice back, learning how to ground yourself, how to back people off when they're really bothering you, and how to stay grounded. And then, of course, how to just sink all that in with some NLP and hypnosis and stuff. So, yeah, you and I need to talk.
Perfect. Well, yeah, we'll teach some basic 101 martial art moves too, and board breaking or something like that. Learn everyone. Yeah. When you talk about step up and a little self-defense, will add some confidence too.
Jeff, cool. You're speaking my language, brother. Mixed martial art, one to another. We gotta do this. So, and I know a lot of these people will walk away from this 3-day event just boom, like they'll never be the same person ever again. That's what's so cool about it, is because and I know that them coming to this type of event, it'll be life-changing. They'll never be able to fit back into that box again.
Love it. Count me in, buddy. We'll talk about those dates. Yeah.
Awesome.
Especially, if it's August, September, so we can really coordinate and lock down a great spot and people can have enough time for flights and all that good stuff.
Of course. We'll give everybody time. So appreciate your time, Jeff. I know you want to go grab dinner, so thank you again.
You're welcome, my friend. My pleasure. I appreciate everyone here on the line, the webinar. Have a great night. Crush it this upcoming week. Again, apply some of those things I was talking about in summary. Focus, time management, healthy boundaries, top 3 things, income producing activity, and focus on the benefit. Don't even think about that 4-letter F word. No way, no way. Focus on the good, and it will come. All right, put that positive energy to it and have a smile out there every single day. I heard this on everything's true on Facebook. I'll leave you with this. I heard the average 4-year-old, little kid, whether it's a guy or girl, they smile 45 times more per day than the average adult. And I mean, I love kids when they're that age. They're fun to play with and everything, but I'm thinking 45 times more than the average adult. What happened to us? You know what I mean? So lighten up, enjoy life. We're only here for a short amount of time. So live it to your full potential is what I say.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff.
All right, buddy. Have a great night. We'll see you soon.
All right. Safe travels.
You bet. Bye-bye now.
Bye. All right, guys. So there you have it. Jeff Fallon, just an amazing guy, and just shared just some awesome nuggets of information with you guys. While you're here, before you leave, make sure you put your name in the comments so that you can win the book or get tickets to win the book, because the person, like I said, every time you show up for these events, you're going to get tickets. Paul, I see you. I got you. I'll put your name in there. You're good. So somebody's going to win this book. All right. So and it should be you, because this book is amazing. It's actually autographed. There you go, by Tony. I got him to sign it for you guys. He signed one for me and got one to sign for you. So I'm super stoked that somebody's going to win that book, because it is really hard to get him to autograph stuff nowadays. So other than that, if you guys want to unmute the line, I usually keep it open for like 5-10 minutes so you can talk, share, tell me what you thought about the call. And then we'll go from there.